So let's take a look at this graph and see what we would need to do to graph it on WebAssign. So this comes from section 1.9, and it's to sketch the region given by the set. So we've got x comma y, and it says such that x is greater than or equal to 2. So I'm going to draw greater than or equal to. Is going to be a line that is a vertical line, x. If we think about what x equals to is, it's a vertical line at 2. But this says x is greater than or equal to 2. So it's not only this vertical line, but it's anything above that. So I'm going to fill in the region to the right. And then I'm going to scroll down and look at part B. This one says y equals 2. So for y equals 2, we're talking about this time a horizontal line. So if I want to graph a horizontal line, I use the line tool, and I'm talking about a line, so that's why I choose the one with the arrow. And I'm going to put 2 points where the y value, pick 2 points where the y value is 2, and that's what I have. And so this is equal to 2, so it's just this line here. And so I'm going to hit submit answer, and I'm going to see what is this? So let's see. Did I get the full points? So there's 0.4 points available. That is correct. I have a green check mark. Let's scroll down here. I have another green check mark. Let's take a look at some other ones. So for this one, this is y is less than 1. So another horizontal line at 1. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to make a horizontal line at 1. Now, for this line, I'm going to pull open this menu here, and I'm going to hit the dash. Why is the dash here? Because it's less than 1. It's not including 1. So whenever you're graphing these special lines, whether they're horizontal or vertical, you want to first take a look at what it would be for the inequalities if they would be equal to. So if it was y equals 1, it would look like this with a solid line. But because it's less than 1, it's a solution set where it includes everything below 1. So now I'm going to hit the fill button, and I'm going to fill the area below 1. Let's scroll down to part B, and let's look at this. X is equal to -2. So equal to -2 means that I am going to select my line tool, pick 2 points. So as soon as I draw click the 2 points, you see that it draws the line. All I need is 2 points to draw a line, and that is equal to -2. Doesn't have a greater than or less than or greater than or equal to or less than equal symbol. So it's just the vertical line. And now let's hit submit, and let's make sure that it took our answer. So again, I have 0.4 points, and I have a green check mark and a green check mark. Let's see some other graphing. Here we have another graphing one. This is a pair of points which we will plot, and then we will be told, we'll be asked for the distance between them. So for this one, I'm going to choose the plotting tool, and I'm going to use this point, and I have to be very precise here. So 0, 10, and I want to make sure that I put it right on the corner there. And then I'm going to check what point it picked by, there's a couple ways. If, let's see, if you hover here, you should be able to read it. Very faint though. What's better is to go here, and then it will tell you. Now, if I had Let's try the next point. I've got 0, 10. 6, 18 would be 6, and then up to 18. Now, if I accidentally go, let's say I'm accidentally, this is going to be an accident. If I put the point somewhere accidentally, that one went in the right spot, so let me delete it. Hold on. If I accidentally, let's say I put it at 518. When I click this, I can read it and see it's 518, and then I could switch it. And then let's see, did it switch it? Go up 6, 18, yep, it's got it. And so now I've got the pair of points. So it says to plot the points in the coordinate plane. I did that. Now it does not say to connect these points. It just says to plot the points. So I'm going to leave it like that. Part B says to find the distance between them, and part C says to find the midpoint of the segment that joins them. So let us go to a whiteboard and let's do those calculations. So the 2 points were 0, 10, and 6, 18. So the distance formula given in our book looks like this. It is the difference between the x coordinates squared added to the difference in the y coordinates squared. Then after you add them together, you take the square root. So the first thing I need to do whenever doing one of these formulas is I'm going to label the points x1, y1, x2, y2. Does it matter if I call this the second set and this the first set? No. It won't make a difference because you find the difference and then you square that. So whether it's a positive or negative difference, once it's squared, it's going to become positive. So now let's plug those values in here. So x2 I called 6, x1 I called 0, y2 is 18, and y1 is 10. So I'm going to end up with 6 squared plus 8 squared. 6 squared is 36, and 8 squared is 64. So I end up with the square root of 100. The square root of 100 could be a positive or negative 10, but when we're talking about the distance, we're only interested in the principal square root, which is the positive root. Now, the third part of the problem asks us to find the midpoint. So using those same points, 0, 10, and 6, 18, we're going to find the midpoint. So the formula for midpoint is given to us in the book. It is the average of the x values to get the ordered pair for the x coordinate, and then the average of the y values to get the ordered pair for the y coordinate. So again, you're going to start by labeling the points and then simply plug them into the formula. So it's going to be 0 plus 6 divided by 2, and 10 plus 18 divided by 2. So that would be 6 over 2 will be my x coordinate, and this one is 28 over 2 will be my y coordinate. Simplifying this, I end up with a midpoint of 314. And so whenever I'm doing these problems, I always want to kind of take a look at the graph and make sure that 314 looks to be in the middle of those 2 points. And it does. If I had a point here, 314, it looks like it would be in the middle. I know if I graph something, let's say I did them incorrectly and I pulled the wrong ordered pairs, I ended up with 14, 3. And I graphed it, and that's over here. Well, you can tell that's not in the middle of a line segment. That would be from here to here. So always take a look and see. So let's plug this in and see if when we hit submit answer, it tells us we've got it right or incorrect. So that is number 7, and I got the full credit. It gave me a check mark for each of them. Now, if you drew a line to connect those points, it would probably mark it incorrect. So you want to make sure that you're following the instructions that it gives you. Let's try one more. Let's do this one. It says to make a table of values. So we're going to plug these values in into X. We have the X values here, and then we will calculate what Y would be. So we'll do the first one on the whiteboard. So let's go back to that. The equation is y equals x squared plus 4. So I'm going to write that on the paper. And the first one told us, well, in place of x, you're going to put in 3. Or I think it was negative 3. So what will be, after you substitute negative 3 in for x, what are we going to get? Negative 3 squared will be negative 3 times negative 3, which is a positive 9. And we get add 4 to it, and we get 13. So on that table, for negative 3 for x, the y would be 13. And we'll repeat this process. So we'll take now and plug in the next one on that list was negative 2. When I plug in negative 2 and square it, I'm going to get a positive 4. And I end up with negative 2, 8. So I'm going to go through and put in my answers here. When I take negative 1 and square it, I'm going to get 1, and 1 plus 4 is 5. 0 squared would be 0, and then I get 4. 1 squared also would be 1 plus 4, which is 5. 2 squared would be 4, 4 plus 8. 4 plus 4 is 8, I'm sorry. And 3 squared is 9, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So I've got my table of values, and now I'm going to plot that as to sketch a graph of the equation. So looking at this equation, this is a quadratic equation because it's an x squared equation. A second degree equation has a parabola shape, so I want to choose this button here. Make sure when you choose that button that it's highlighted. Now to graph a parabola, you need to graph for the WebAssign, you want to choose the vertex, which in this case it's the lowest point. So 0, 4 is the lowest point. And then you're going to choose one other point. So we can try 2, 8. And then you'll see that it will plot the parabola for you. And so we've got our parabola, and then let's hit submit answer, and let's see if it gives us a green check. So scrolling down, we've got check marks for each of the points, and then we've got a check mark overall. This one, same thing. We have a parabola here also. This one has a negative in front of the x squared, so the parabola is going to open down. So you want to choose the highest point or the vertex, and then one other point. So that is a rundown on how to graph for 1.9 in the WebAssign. If you do have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I can help walk you through it. Thanks, everybody.